And welcome back to the show. Bronx Film 48 is a community film initiative with the goal of increasing the number of filmmakers right here in the borough of the Bronx. Now, the initiative is holding a networking event for film creators to build connections as well as some inspiration. And we're pleased to have two very special guests with us, the Bronx Film 48's co-founder and content manager, Edwin Torres, and co-founder and events coordinator, Ayaris Perez. And thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
And so, Ayaris, if you share with us a little bit about this particular event, as we said in the intro, an opportunity for Bronx filmmakers to connect, and it really talk to me about that connection, because is it a lot of filmmakers out there, or are you really just trying to connect and see who's out there? Talk to us about that.
So the purpose of the Bronx networking events, it's actually to connect filmmakers, because we do have filmmakers out there, and not just filmmakers, right? It's to bring all kinds of creators, content creators, filmmakers, actors, actresses, sound producers, gaffers. So to really bring all kinds of creators under one roof, because before I actually co-founded Bronx Film 48, I didn't have a network. I didn't know Edwin was like down the block from me. We lived like 5 minutes from each other. And now 4 years later, here we are. So there are filmmakers out there, and that is the purpose, that is the goal of the networking event, to bring them all together under one roof and really start creating more films. That is the whole purpose of it, to create more content right here in our own borough, the Bronx.
So Edwin, here it is, 4 years later, you guys connect, and literally like living down the block, you're connected. Now you're hoping to connect more other people. So when this event takes place, what can we look for as far as events?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, I mean, Ayada said it perfectly. This event is really, for a safe space for filmmakers to come together, converge, meet each other, whether you're an actress, director, producer, writer. And really, the coolest part about the event, at least for me, is to have the featured panelists, which are basically professionals in the industry that filmmakers can, of all levels, whether you've never made a film or I've made a bunch of films, to meet professionals that are in the industry, making a living, doing exactly what they wanted to do. I think it's something that's really inspiring to the filmmakers. So I think the exciting part for me is when these filmmakers can actually meet these professionals and possibly make a connection with them.
Yeah. So to have this connection is very important, as we say. But when we talk about the Bronx and having that presence of filmmakers and those persons who work in the industry right here in our borough to be connected, give me the importance of this, having, if you will, a cinema presence here in the borough.
Yes, absolutely. I think really the important part is that like the reason, like for me, as an example, I always think about like myself and Ayaris, who, before co-founding Bronx Film 48, I didn't really have much of a network inside the borough. I would always have to travel to Brooklyn, to Manhattan, other boroughs, at least an hour away, to meet other filmmakers. So I think the best part, I think the reason this is so important is that it makes these types of events accessible to people that live in this borough of the Bronx, so that it's a reminder that we don't have to travel all the way down. It's like filmmaking events and filmmakers are not just in Manhattan and Brooklyn. It's a reminder that there are a robust amount of creators here in the borough, but there is not a robust scene of filmmaking in this borough. So it's to really remind filmmakers of that.
Ayaris, I know part of what you're doing through this event is also providing some resources for filmmakers. As a filmmaker yourself and one who's involved in the industry, talk to me about that, because how much was the access to resources for you coming up as a filmmaker? Did you find it to be very easy, or did you find it to be challenging?
That is a great question. And to be completely honest, I think it was pretty hard. And just to like reiterate what Edwin said, like that is why the importance of bringing these resources to our very own neighborhood, for the Bronx, by the Bronx. It's so important. Like it's us locally that are in the Bronx, have been Bronx natives all our lives, to bring this to our neighborhood. So I think it's some of the resources that we provide besides the networking event. It's also workshops. We'll have workshops coming up, our annual 48-hour film challenge, and film screenings in the summer. And the beautiful thing too, to add to earlier, I'm sorry. The beautiful thing too has been that we have seen filmmakers come together after the challenge. They go on to keep on working together and continue creating together.
Yeah. And I want to talk about this challenge, the upcoming annual 48-hour film challenge. And what does that entail?
Ayaris, you want to take this one?
I'll take it. So the 48-hour film challenge, we don't have a date, TBD, but stay tuned. But the 40-hour challenge is it's really open to all kinds of levels. We have, in the past, we have had filmmakers that are making a film for the first time. And then we have professionals. So it's really open to all kinds of levels. It entails you creating a film in 48 hours. So people make their teams and the kickoff is on a Friday, and they have 48 hours to create the film. They are giving a theme. They are giving a line of dialogue, a character name, a prop, and a street in the Bronx that they have to highlight. So that is the challenge in itself. And they don't find that out until the day off. And then on Sunday, they submit the films. And after that, more details to come.
Okay. Edwin, I'm coming for you now, so you can answer this one for me. When you talk about this event, and obviously an opportunity for a lot of people to come together up under the roof, but then when you go home, talk about the takeaway. What do you want those who attend this event to be able to take away and be able to experience by being a part of this very special event?
Absolutely. So I think the biggest takeaway I think I want filmmakers to get is that one, they can make connections and meet each other that could potentially be fruitful in the future. And the coolest part is that they can meet each other and potentially form a team for the upcoming 48-hour film challenge, which would be really cool. And I think one of the biggest reasons why we do this event is so people can not just meet for professional reasons, but also possibly form a friendship as well. So maybe down the line, a whole production company could be formed right here in the Bronx just by a few people meeting together and forming a friendship or a bond.
Yeah. And so, Ayaris, I know we talked about the resources for being a filmmaker and how challenging it is. But share with me a little bit about that value of connection, because you spoke to us, I think, when we first started, about you and Edwin didn't know each other, and then only found out that you were down the block, and now here you are putting together this, this wonderful event. What's the value in having somebody that works in the industry, knows the industry, has the access to resources, and maybe doesn't even have the access to resources? Maybe they're like you, commiserating and saying, listen, how do I get this done? What's the value of that kind of connection that you're bringing?
So the value of the connection, it's so important. And I've heard this multiple times. And if there's one thing that I've learned, and I want everybody else to keep this in mind, is that your network is like big in order for you to get your feet wet and get your feet in the industry, if that's what you want to. But I actually met Greg, the other co-founder, and my other through a networking event. So it's interesting how we came together. We met through a networking event, and then he introduced me to Edwin, and that's how connections start, right? You never know, who you're sitting next to, what conversations can arise. And it might be maybe that these persons don't have access to those resources, but like I've always said, one of my favorite quotes is, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. And that has always aligned me with everything that I want to do. We decided that we needed these resources. We saw the lack of resources in our very own neighborhood. So we decided to bring that to the Bronx.
Yeah. Let's give people the opportunity to connect. And I didn't mention, and we probably do it now, that we could tell people where the event is going to be hosted, what time, and what do they need to have in order to come through the door?
Yeah, absolutely. So the event is happening April 16th. That's on a Saturday. The doors are going to open at 6 p.m. And it's going to go till about 9 p.m. The address is 1017. That's 1017 Home Street in the Bronx, New York. It's going to be on the ground floor. So you see a bunch of signs and a big door to walk through. And if you want to know any updates or info about it, you can follow us at Bronx Film 48 on Instagram, as well as Facebook Instagram. Oh, and we're on LinkedIn as well. And you could just follow our website as well at bronxfilm48.com for any updates or any last minute changes for that event and our upcoming 48-hour film challenge.
And as to answer your question on what to bring business cards.
Right. Bring the business cards, have the opportunity to connect, and you never know what happens. For these two, it's been an opportunity to form Bronx Film 48, an opportunity to now take part in this event taking place, as we said, Saturday, April the 16th. And yeah, an opportunity to get together. So I want to thank you both for coming and sharing with us. But tell us this before we leave. How do people get connected to the future things that you have going on? And let us know what else you have coming down the pike.
All right. Definitely follow us on all our platforms, bronxfilm48.com, on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, or even Vimeo. But definitely stay tuned. We have workshops coming up. So we'll be posting those out. We'll be making that announcement, as well as the announcement for the kickoff, for the challenge, the sign-up process. We are also expanding. So stay tuned if anybody wants to join the team.
Well, thank you. Edwin, anything else you want to leave us with before we go?
Yeah, I mean, like Ayaris said, follow us on our platforms. Yeah, we're really excited to just especially after 2 years of being we're pretty much remote. This is our first time back in this space since we hosted this event 2 years ago, and now we're doing it in a very in the same space, but in a very different world now. But we're still just excited to be able to do these events back in person, so that it's a reminder to us that the world is still going and that we're still here and we're still trying to create films.
Ayaris and Edwin, thank you so much for being with us. Bronx Film 48, having a very special networking event. Congratulations, and also best wishes on the event.
Yes,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Right.
Absolute pleasure.
Have a good rest of your day. Bye.
Hey, you too. Well, we want our viewers to know, listen, if you want more information, visit the website at bronxfilm48.com. And of course, you can visit them on their social media platforms at Bronx Film 48.